And moving on to another big headline that we are tracking, that is the key takeaways, the key decisions of the GST Council meet. And the biggest of them was the levy of 28% GST on online gaming, casinos and horse racing. For more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Parikshit Luthra. Parikshit, what are the details in the industry reaction on this big development?
Well, we have been getting strong reactions from the industry, especially the gaming industry. And this is with regard to the 28% GST clarification that's coming in for online gaming, casinos and horse racing. The tax will be levied on full value. The gaming industry has called it a big setback. That's not all. The council has also clarified that all multi-utility vehicles, whether SUVs or crossovers, will have to pay a tax of 22% compensation cess over and above the 28% GST rate. Let's now get in our guests right now. We have with us Najib Shah, former chairman at the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. We also have Pratik Jain, partner at PwC India. Mr. Najib Shah, let me begin with you. Do you feel that the industry should have seen this coming, as the Revenue Secretary has also indicated yesterday that this 28% GST on the face value of online gaming, this is a reiteration. Earlier, 18% GST on online gaming was a question of interpretation. What has now happened is a clarification. Do you think this reaction that has come in from the industry is warranted?
I don't think so at all. I don't think so, simply because this has been in the offing for quite some time. Please remember that the GOM was constituted in 2020, and they have been having close and long interactions with the industry. So, and the CBIC, I think, had given more than sufficient hints at various levels that the tax is likely to be 28% on the full value. I think the reaction is exaggerated. I think the industry now needs to particular levy. I don't think it will be a challenge. It's an indirect tax. It will get passed on. The fears that it will mean the death knell of the industry, a body blow, is hugely exaggerated. So I think this is always in the offing. It is not a surprise, and I'm surprised that they're expressing such deep surprise at the levy itself.
Right. We also believe that this was something that the GST Council members felt very, very strongly about. Could you give us a thinking within the government? Was this also an emotional issue, a very important personal issue for many of the members of the GST Council, Mr. Najib Shah?
I don't think so. I mean, I assume you're suggesting moral overtones here being the reason for the levy on the full value. I don't think so. Remember, the GOM itself had representatives from across everybody. There was obviously no consensus, which is why the matter kept getting delayed so badly. But I'm glad that there's clarity, because the lack of clarity more than anything else is bad for any taxation regime. And there was complete lack of clarity. And now I think now that there is clarity on the fact that there's going to be 28% on the full value, thrown up by the industry. I am very surprised at those numbers. I don't really subscribe to them. I'm told that there are 50 crore gamers currently. I mean, come on, we have a population of 140, 150 crores. It means every third, fourth person is gaming. And I don't know how many of those are persons who are gaming after payment, because these are the persons who are going to get impacted. Others, a lot of people are gaming on free online games. So I think there's no emotion involved here. It was a levy which was likely to happen. It has been in the offing. And I think the industry should shape up to it and ensure that they are able to handle it, which I'm sure they will. I mean, this is an industry which has huge investments. It's an industry which has huge potential. And very rarely has a tax killed an industry, right? They always get around to ensuring that they pass on the burden to the consumers, and not all the consumers are going to go off the country to play in offline, to play online games in in places other than India.
Right. Pratik Jain, do you feel that the gaming industry will be able to tide over this? Because we also believe that this 28% GST on the face value will apply retrospectively. Do you think the industry will be able to find a way around it after this noise dies down? Currently, the online gaming industry is saying this is a killer blow. Is there a way out of this in terms of growing their market share, growing their revenues?
So, Parikshit, I think we haven't heard the last of it, right? So obviously, Mr. Najib Shah says that it was perhaps always in the offing. I have a slightly different view. Industry was paying 18% on the net amount, which is the revenue or the commission that they were earning. Now, obviously, the proposal is to impose 28% on the gross value, which is received. Also, it was clarified that this is in the nature of a clarificatory amendment, and therefore it should apply retrospectively. My view on this is that, look, the policy decision of imposing 28% has been taken. I don't want to sort of question that. That is, between the industry and the government. I'm sure that industry would again go back to the government for a reconsideration because the impact is significant. But I would have hoped that this amendment is made prospective in nature, because obviously, as was pointed out, it was an issue of interpretation. There are one or two High Court decisions which are in favor of industry. And this amendment is happening by a specific change in Schedule 3 of the GST Act, which looks like an amendment to the law. And therefore, let the past be past, and and let's move on, is what the message perhaps one should have got. But I'm sure that if the attempt is made to make it retrospective, not sure. I mean, along with the interest and penalties and so on and so forth, the amount itself would be much more than the revenues of many of these companies, and therefore it might be very difficult for them to sustain. Therefore, I do hope that government would reconsider this and make it prospective.
Okay. Mr. Najib Shah, coming to you, there were also other decisions that on critical medicines. GST Council recommended exemption of cancer-related drugs, medicines for rare diseases, food products for special medical purposes from GST tax. How significant is this decision? And tell us about the kind of medicines, the kind of healthcare products which would be exempted from GST as a result.
I think they're very significant. In fact, unfortunately, there are very many significant decisions in this meeting which got overshadowed by the discussion and debate about online gaming. So like you rightly pointed out, medicines is one such major area of benefit being extended to the ordinary citizens of the country. Cancer drugs are specifically being highlighted, and I think significant development. I think the setting up of the tribunal is another very, very important issue, which has been long pending. I hope that these formalities get done speedily, so that we have a tribunal in place at least before the end of the year. I think significant recommendations have also been made with regard to tightening up the entire procedure. I'm a little concerned about that, simply because while there has been evasion and mischief done by some people because of fake invoices, I hope the government doesn't go overboard in tightening up all the simplification which was put in place in the first place, simply because this will hurt the industry across board. But these are recommendations which are also there, and I think those are very significant coming from the GST Council.
All right. Mr. Najib Shah, Pratik Jain, thank you so much for joining us here on the program, giving us your view on the recommendations of the 50th meeting of the GST Council. That's all we have time for on this special broadcast. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.